need to find a quiet place for the rest of this review. So this is one of the best places to continue with my review. More than 10,000 kilometers I've done with this bike, the Honda Vision 110, the 2022 model version. I'm gonna tell you something about this bike that no dealer, no manufacturer will ever tell you. It's not even written in the manual. But for that, you have to stick with me until the end of this video. I would like first to start with the positives about this bike, because there are plenty of them, and after 10,000 kilometers I also have some numbers. The first positives are of course regarding the maintenance cost and the dealership service. I would say the first service was 40 euros, the second service also about 40 euros, so it's nothing. Almost the service is done, service interval it's each 6,000 kilometers. We have some service interval for the filters at about 15,000, then the belt 24,000. So the service intervals are quite decent and they are very cheap. So this is a big positive regarding this maintenance costs. In 10,000 kilometers, I put fuel for 300 euros, which makes about 3 euro the price for each 100 kilometers, only if you consider gas. And we all know the gas prices around the world, so I consider this 3 euro cost per 100 kilometers, when in terms of gas, a pretty decent fuel consumption. Now let's see in detail my fuel consumption, the lowest and the highest. Let's see the progress of the fuel consumption during these 10,000 kilometers. I've started with a fuel consumption of 2.34, 241, 231. I have to mention that I'm using the bike exclusively in the city traffic with the delivering. So I'm delivering with this bike. I'm actually exploiting it to the max, also with a top case, carrying weight, and also riding with a pillion. So as I said, I started with a 234, 241, 231. So I was also getting 251, so 251, 235. The average it's about 240. I also have the lowest of 222 at the point. Now you can see here 227, but on on 17th of May, I've managed to have 222. I repeat, only in the city traffic, so no outside the city riding. 224, and maximum which I get at one point, let me show you, it was 270 on September 3rd. I have a fuel consumption of 270. This was on the full rain, heavy rain. It was a day with a lot of rain and thunderstorm, and I was riding the bike and I get this 270, which was the absolute high on this bike in the city traffic. Then 260, 266, then went down to 227. That's depending quite a lot of your riding style, of your riding conditions, and this was only in the city traffic. And the latest fuel consumption was 230, 258, so the average you can consider 240. I am very interested to know the fuel consumption outside the city, because as you can see here, this is the maximum which you can get on this bike. So as you could see from my graphics, I had from 2.2 up to 2.7% fuel consumption. This 2.7, I have to mention it that they were done on a very difficult rainy conditions. Actually, it was a storm. It was I was passing this high level waters in the city. It was basically a big storm, and this was and also rain, and this was the maximum fuel consumption which I had. In general, I have 2.3, 2.4, and the lowest I was able to reach inside the city was 2.2. Another big positive thing is this seat, which I find it very comfortable. And I will tell you why, because it gives you the possibility to move forward and backward. But what I've noticed, if you would like to have more comfort, you can slide back a little bit to reach in this position over here, because it offers you more space. It's more wide. It's more wide, and you have more space over here to stay in this comfort zone. This is the comfort zone of the seat over here, and this offers you quite a nice comfort during the rides. If you're staying, for example, more in this part, I was using a backpack, a big one for deliveries, for example, and I was somehow, because of the top case, I was forced to stay more in this side over here. And this side being smaller, it doesn't offer you too much protection. So if you're riding alone, I will highly recommend that you make an effort and stay on this side, because you also have a better knee angle, and you will be able to have more comfort in this area, starting from here up to here. So this is the comfort zone. After highly usage in the city, you can see that the seat it's in perfect shape. It's very resistant, very tough. Also seems to be waterproof. I haven't noticed too much water coming inside on this foam over here. But who knows, I can upgrade it. I can upgrade it, why not? I would like to upgrade it in this part, to put more foam or more material in this part. I would like to have this seat actually, the front over here, to be exactly straight like this one. I don't know how much impacts on the sitting position, on the riding position, but I will give it a try. Another big positive, it's the passenger comfort. I was riding quite a lot with a passenger, and the feedback received was quite a positive one. And also the top case helped quite a lot. I don't have it here with me due to some tests. And yeah, the passenger comfort, the pillion comfort, it's quite good. You have quite a lot of space over here. The foot pegs are coming in a good angle, so the knee angle of the pillion, it's quite decent. So highly recommend that you try this scooter also with a pillion. It's quite a pleasant ride. So I will definitely include the passenger comfort, the pillion comfort as a positive thing for this bike. Another positive thing which actually surprised me about this bike, and really I can put them in a big positives, it's the front wheel. I'm really shocked to see how easy this bike takes all the road problems, the potholes, the tram lines, and any problem on the surface. This bike can pass it. I cannot explain it. The fork, it's nothing special, it's basic. The wheel, it's a 16-inch wheel, very slim. So I cannot even think how easy this bike takes over these surfaces. This was a really positive thing which I haven't expected from this bike. So if you buy a scooter, I will highly recommend that you choose a one with the front wheel at least 16-inch like this bike, because it really makes a huge difference. This is the truth. And the way it takes these bumps, these potholes, also with the pillion, this is also something which I cannot explain, because this bike has only one rear shock absorber. This basic front suspension is nothing special, but still it takes over very nice and easy. And this is actually 80/90 16-inch wheel. Let's stick to the tires a little bit, because someone in the comment section mentioned something about how these tires are behaving on the rain surface, on the rain, during heavy rain, how the stopping power it's decreasing quite a lot in the rain. But I can say I was really surprised also in this area, because this bike can handle this stopping power quite decent with this combined braking system. So yeah, I'm really pleased about these tires. They are stock tires. They are made in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, made in Vietnam, these tires. Basic tires, stock tires. They are quite good on the rain. So can be from this combined braking system, which really helps a lot. Can be from this grip which they provide. I don't know, but these are good tires, so I'm gonna keep it until the end. I had in my mind to change the tires for the winter, to use winter tires from Michelin, but now with these tires I will stick a little bit longer to them, according also to the temperatures that we're gonna have in the winter. So I'm waiting to see what kind of temperatures we're gonna have in the winter, and then I'm gonna make the decision to stick with it because they are quite decent, or to change to winter tires. And let's take a look at these tires after 10,000 kilometers. You can see they have quite a lot of material over here. 10,000 kilometers still, it's after 10,000 kilometers at a motorcycle, you are really thinking to change them, or you already changed them at 8,000 depending on the tire. But check out these tires. They have pretty decent amount of surface over here. I don't know which is the limit. Maybe these ones. When these ones are finished, I don't know exactly which is the mark over here for a finished tire. Let's take a look also at the front tire. We can notice also not so much usage, if you know what I mean. Check them out. So far they look pretty decent, but as I mentioned, I was riding 99% in the city, making deliveries, putting load on the bike, riding with a pillion, braking hard, accelerating like a devil. And still these tires are in this condition after 10,000 kilometers. And last but not least, as a positive, it's the maintenance cost. When you compare it with a motorcycle, you cannot even compare it. You cannot even put them together when it comes to maintenance cost when you're riding in the city. So I will say as a positive, and here is why. Riding with this scooter in the city traffic daily comes to my mind this thought that I was too stupid not to take in consideration since the beginning buying a scooter for the city and the motorcycle for outside the city, enjoying the rides, the long rides. I thought, okay, let's have a motorcycle which does everything, rides in the city, you know, also be able to travel quite a lot, and the Honda NC was quite a perfect buy for that. But also when you consider the price of the maintenance, because riding in the city consumes much faster the brake pads, consumes much faster the brake discs, you have to change the oil much often because of this start and stop and so on. And when you compare a bike that was used only for city riding or only for outside the city, then between the two of them will be a difference. So when you put all this in balance, when you put the maintenance cost for the scooter with the maintenance cost for the motorcycle riding it in the city traffic daily, then you will see that it's much cheaper, or on a long term can be much cheaper to have two motorcycles or two bikes, a scooter and a motorcycle. It's cheaper than having one motorcycle which you travel in the city and outside the city. And last but not least, you will feel much more tired on a motorcycle in the city than you are on the scooter. On the scooter you feel like you are actually flying, or you're just a guest on the seat traveling from A to B in the city Then with a motorcycle it's much more, you have to be much more careful. The riding position is not so comfortable as it is in this scooter. Check out my legs. Now let's move forward to the negatives. It's time to stick around for the negatives because I have quite a few of them. One of the first problems I've had were with this spring which makes the brake lever come back. This spring, it's actually I think €1.5 spring, which I ordered from Honda. This spring was broken from this side. Perhaps it was quite a low quality, but nevertheless this spring was broken and the lever was not able to come back. I was able to use the brake, but not 100%. The lever functionality was not 100% because this spring over here was completely broken, and to replace it was not so cheap. The spring was 1.5 euros, but replacing the spring was 20 euros. 20 euros to replace this freaking spring over here, because to take it out, to take this bolt out, you need to take out this fender over here, this light fender over here, take out this light fender and then take out this spring. So at the dealership was 20 euro to change this freaking spring over here from the lever. So I will take care about this spring because it's a pain in the ass to change it. I will take care about it. I put some grease on, I put some lubricant over here so the lever goes smoothly. Also here I put some grease on this part where the lever also slides on this piece of metal over here. So yeah, a spring which actually I didn't thought it's a big deal, but it was 20 euros. Another problem which I had with it, or another issue of this bike, which I encountered a couple of times, was the following. If you put too much gas here, actually it says in the manual don't fill it until this point, so you have to fill it but not at maximum possible to come over and be over this line. You will encounter what I have encountered myself. Watch it out.
And if you fill the tank too much, for example, if you fill it over this limit, something like that, you need to fill it not so much, but if you fill it a little bit too much, you close it and then you try to start it. You will have this check engine indicator over here. So my recommendation is that you fill the tank not so much. This is my recommendation. If you fill it properly, nothing like that will appear. After you ride a bike for a while, this will disappear for sure. But don't panic. This disappears here after you fill it too much. Probably there is not so much air in combination with the gas, so is not mixing the fuel properly.
One of the biggest negatives of this scooter, but in general about scooters, especially latest versions or newer versions, it's the fact, actually I can say it's a big negative but also a big positive, and I will explain why. It's a big negative of the scooters that it's very difficult to take out the fenders, to fix it inside, to make any small fixing, all these small repairs, as I can prove it with this spring. To replace this spring was needed to take out the fender, to go inside, to check out the engine, to change the spark plug, to change even a light on this bike, on this scooter. It's a very difficult stuff, and highly I don't recommend it to do it yourself, because you risk to break a small clip, a small plastic stuff, because this plastic is not made of steel. This plastic is plastic and it's broken very easily. Trying to fix yourself something at this bike can be a pain in the ass, because it's very difficult to take out, or I will say it's not difficult, but it takes a lot of care and a lot of preparation and a lot of knowledge to know exactly what to take off, what fender, where is it replaced. For example, here there are some fenders over here. There's a fender, the back fender, for example, to reach. Maybe you want to add a better bash plate or a better engine protection. Actually, here it's not the engine, here is the battery. But maybe you want to change something here. Maybe you want to take this off. You can imagine how many pins it has, how many clips over here. You risk to break it. So I will definitely suggest that you do somehow, that you have a warranty on these scooters, or you can go to a dealership that takes responsibility for taking out carefully these plastics. Otherwise, this is not a do-it-yourself bike. Okay, you can maybe change the brake pads, you can change the wheel, you can change the discs, maybe you can change the air filter, maybe you can do some small stuff about this bike. But that's it. When you want to do more, when you want to access the engine, the spark plug, maybe you want to change a bulb, it's broken, maybe you want to do some modifications here, change it, take out some stuff over here, then it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass, and I will not recommend, this is not a bike for do-it-yourself. So if you have time and you have you really like to open and take off the engine of these bikes and make modifications and alterate it, that's fine. But if you are a regular person like me who doesn't want to lose time, then I will say these scooters definitely need to be fixed and serviced at a dealer. They do it, they done it many of times, couple of times, thousands of times, and they know how to take off each of this part. But there is also a positive thing about these scooters. The positive big one, it's the protection which you get on the wind, on the rain. The engine gets a good protection. Actually, nothing can reach more or less to the engine. Not so much dust, not so much water. The engine is more protected. The components are more protected from the water, from the external factors, you know. And this is a very positive thing. As I've already showed you last time, you can see here this rain protection, this fender over here, the back fender. It's very protective during the rains. Actually, my top case was perfectly dry, perfectly without mud each single ride. So it's perfect when you have all these protections over here. You see this rear fender, rear mud guard over here. Also, the wheel has a nice front guard, front wheel guard. Front fender, as you want to call it. It's very protective. And yeah, your feet are protected. Your feet are protected also, because you stay there with the feet. I was riding in the rain. The feet, they were very well protected by the rain. You're in general more protected with a scooter than with a motorcycle. And the scooter itself, the components are more under protection than on a motorcycle. And now, as I promised at the beginning of the video, I will give you a tip. I had a problem with this bike. No one have ever told me when I bought it. I have to encounter myself this problem, and I will also ask you about this problem. If you encounter this problem, or if you ever heard about something like that. So let's watch it a little bit. Let's watch what happened to this bike in the next minutes, and I would like to know your opinion.
So now we are trying to start the Vision.
Let's see if the gas pump is working. Nothing. So the gas pump isn't working. Just check it out. You only hear a click and that's it. Now I try to start it. Nothing. Okay, you saw it. The things went like that. I was at the light and I was using the start and stop function. And suddenly, when I wanted to start the bike and go, the bike started a little bit to start, but immediately stopped. I put away, I put on the side, and I try again to start the bike. The bike didn't start, just tries to start, but no gas, no power, nothing. I was going at the gas station. I had let's say one line out of 6 from the gas, so there was gas in the bike. It didn't run out of gas. I put the gas on, the bike started perfectly. After a while I had gas, but still the bike won't start. It was heating up. There were 40 degrees outside, 35, 40, something like that. And I had gas, I had more than half of the tank, and the bike just didn't want to start, as you could saw on the videos. So actually what happened, or what it's supposed to happen, as the dealer explained me, is that the fuel pump stays immersed in gas. So the fuel pump, it's immersed in petrol, starting from half of the petrol tank. So when the petrol tank has half of gasoline, half of fuel, then the fuel pump, it's somehow safe because it's immersed in petrol. If the fuel pump, it's not immersed completely in petrol, for example, you're running with on reserve, you're running with 1 line, 2 lines, 1, 2 lines, or no line, and let's say the fuel pump, it's exposed to heat. Because I was running at 35, 40 degrees outside Celsius, the fuel pump was exposed and not immersed in petrol for a longer period of time, and seems like this caused a fuel pump malfunction. It started step by step, a little bit with a little bit. Then when the engine was warm outside, the engine won't start. If you leave the engine for a little bit to chill down, the engine will start eventually. So the engine started, but after you let it chill down. I never ever heard something like that at the scooter. For example, nothing like that was written on a manual, nothing like that was attentioned, or nothing has been told by the dealer when I bought the bike, that oh man, you need to have half of the tank full in order not to damage the fuel pump, especially when it's warm outside. When it's cold outside, there is no such thing as a problem. When it's cold outside, the temperatures are okay, the fuel pump works properly, even if it's not immersed in petrol. But when it's very warm outside, when it's very hot, then the fuel pump needs to be immersed in petrol. So the fuel pump was changed under warranty, and what I found out as an information is that the same issue had happened with the PCX 125. So 2 models of PCX 125 had the same issue with the fuel pump. So this fuel pump issue at the scooters, I didn't know about that. So as a protection method, when it's very warm outside, I protect this fuel pump by running at least with half of fuel tank. I don't know if you heard about this. I don't know what's your opinion about that, your experience. Did you ever experience something like that regarding the fuel pump? I'm really curious to know. It's a new thing that happened. Now I have a new fuel pump changed under warranty. So thanks God I have 4 years warranty on the Vision. The fuel pump was changed. nothing ever happened since then. I was running, I think, 3,000, 4,000 kilometers with the bike since then. Everything is running fine, even on very hot days. But I always use a half of petrol tank when it's very warm outside. Now we are approaching autumn, winter. We're not gonna have such high temperatures over here, but still, now I have to be careful on summer days with the fuel pump. What's your thoughts about that? Did you encounter this problem with this fuel pump? So, quite a lot of events during these 10,000 kilometers with the Honda Vision. Nevertheless, I'm more than happy with the bike. I'm more than happy after 10,000 kilometers that I've made this decision to buy this Honda Vision. Really helped me quite a lot on my job. I was using it as a delivery tool. I was using it as a commuter in the city, as a transportation method with a pillion, with a passenger. So I was really exploiting and really using this bike for its purpose. So I totally can say that this bike so far did its purpose, fulfill its purpose, and I'm really curious to see how the maintenance schedule it's running, how the air filter will be changed and everything, what are the cost of these procedures, so I can make a yearly maintenance cost and compare it with the motorcycle. I still have a few months until I'm reaching 1 year with this bike, and I'm really curious to share with you, and I'm really curious to see, and after that to share with you the total maintenance cost, the yearly maintenance cost of this bike, because so far it was really a bargain. It was really a very cheap transportation method, very cheap maintenance, and I'm really happy that we have this tool to use it in the city. So the Honda Vision is a bike for city and around the city, I will say. So you can trust her running also outside the city a little bit, but in the same time, think about if you had a car and you've been caught in traffic. Think about the amount of hours which you will spend getting in the city, and think about how fast you pass this car with the Vision. It's uncomparable. You cannot even imagine how much time you gain only choosing to use a scooter for your commuting around the city. Thank you so much for staying with me during this review of the Honda Vision. From this peaceful place, I wish you all the best.